If you've ever played any Little Big Planet game ever, this game won't be new to you. You play a sack boy or sack girl, if that suits your fancy, and your world's imagosphere has become tainted due to another corrupt world. This world is being controlled by the ruthless and ever-pessimistic puppeteer. He started sucking up all the happiness in the world in order to put life into his own puppets. Your goal is to stop him, with the help of the typical oddball sorts of creators. Little Big Planet, if anything, is a platformer. You must travel through each level, avoiding enemies and dangers, often solving small puzzles or performing specific tasks to reach the end. All the while, there are collectibles for you to grab which add an item to your customizable character, or to a slew of different level-building objects, a lot of which are hidden or require multiple players to reach. There are score bubbles which you can also collect, however they never really play a huge role in the story levels. Playing with multiple people, whoever has the highest score in the end wins. However, winning doesn't really entitle you to anything at all. The main story consists of 5 worlds, each with its own subset of levels and each hosted by a different creator. This is probably the most disappointing part of the game, as in past Little Big Planet titles the campaigns have involved many more worlds prolonging the story. However, with only 5 different worlds you can easily breeze through the main story in under 3 hours. In fact, there's an actual in-game achievement for doing that very same thing. All the story levels are impeccably designed, showcasing some of the most creative minds. I just wish there were more of them. Due to the short story, there is also an extremely disappointing lack of new costumes for your character. The game relies almost entirely on costumes from the past 2 games for customization, so if you haven't bought much from the PlayStation Store, don't expect to be wowed with any sort of awesome-looking sack boy or sack girl. While this does deter from the original experience of the game, it won't keep you from playing as soon as you realize how fun this game can actually be. In each separate world there are also mini-games, and this is where the game really compensates for the short story. They've always been side games in Little Big Planet, however this title really makes them worthwhile. Each side game has specific goals to reach, and upon reaching those goals you get a reward. This forces you to actually get good at all these side games, and to really put some time in them because, to be honest, the highest benchmark is often pretty difficult to reach. This is great and probably one of the top new features of this title. However, there are also versus matches, which really came into play in Little Big Planet 2. These specific levels pit you against 1 to 3 other opponents in either racing, boxing, or any other random type of level. Of course, you need someone else to play with. Or, actually, the devs thought of that and implemented a shared screen function that actually allows a friend to play with you by turning your Vita sideways and sharing the nice large screen. Besides having to turn the screen for certain versus matches, actually a lot of the minigames also require you to turn your Vita vertically to play. This leads me to my next point. Little Big Planet Vita uses the Vita in ways you haven't done before. From swiping the screen to move blocks out of the way to tilting your Vita to alter gravity, this game really goes outside of the box. The good thing is that it almost never abuses the features of the Vita. There were a few times when control of your character was completely done with the rear touchpad, and that just didn't settle too well with me. But beyond that instance, I really enjoyed the tidbits of creativity that came along with using the touchscreen and other functions. Beyond the main story and all the side levels and minigames, the main attraction of any Little Big Planet game is the community. You're given all the tools the developers use in order to make the masterpieces of your own. The limitations are essentially non-existent, and you may find yourself getting lost in create mode. The real replay value comes from all the community levels, and so it's slightly disappointing and frustrating that there really isn't a great way to search for all of them beyond some recommendations. Nonetheless, that won't stop you from trying all sorts of different levels, saving your favorites, and competing with your friends. On one final note, and I have to include this just because I was so taken by it, the graphics in Little Big Planet Vita are amazing. This is the first game I personally have seen true HD graphics come out so vividly, and I swore I was playing it on my PS3. The colors blend very smoothly, the lighting effects are breathtaking, and not once did I experience any sort of drawback to the graphics. Never did the game slow down or notice any screen tears, etc. Visually, this game will blow you away and make you forget you're playing it on a handheld. In the end, Little Big Planet Vita delivers. There's nothing you wouldn't expect coming from the past games, providing basically a Little Big Planet on the go, with a few cool bonus features designed around the Vita. You need to spend some extra dough if you want to make your sack person look cool, but the amount of things there are to do in the game are endless, really making this a great game to hang on to. Here's some final wrap-up points. Pros. Large community makes for a lot of different and awesome gameplay. Makes use of the Vita's features without overdoing it. Multiplayer on a handheld is tons of fun. Lots of goals and collectibles to keep you playing, and of course, the amazing graphics. Some cons, however. There isn't a lot of customization compared to past games, there's a relatively short storyline, and still not a great way to search for levels. I give this game a 9.5 out of 10. The main issues with the game are quickly rectified by more content and long-lasting gameplay. If you're looking for a title to keep you occupied for a while, you should definitely pick this game up.